because it's an older version, unless you've been doing your Windows updates. So let's take a look at our sysvol. Oh, and I always do this. I always expect sysvol to be a server, and stupidly, and it is not. So if we go to shaver.net, got our sysvol. We see that DFS is happening. We look, these permissions look really normal. Sometimes, like older versions of Samba, you especially if you didn't have that like X attributes thing specified in ACLs and stuff, you would see like Unix style permissions in here, and it was like really weird to see, and it was hilarious. But in our sysvols we have scripts, which is empty obviously, but I guess if we were going to do login scripts, we could put them in there. And then these are our two policies that currently exist: the default domain policy and the default domain controller policy. Now you can go online, and Microsoft allows you to download the most up-to-date group policy templates. These are the ones from Windows 8.1 and 2012 R2, so they're at the time of this recording, they're the most up-to-date policy definitions that you can possibly have. So when you download them from Microsoft, you get a little MSI that once you, unfortunately, like Microsoft doesn't distribute them as a zip. It actually runs through an installer and installs the policies to a given location on your hard drive, which is kind of bizarre, but whatever. So one of the things you'll also notice is that there's a whole bunch of language files. So if we go in here, there's ADML, which means that's the with ADMX, Microsoft finally was able to abstract out the sort of strings of text that are in the policy and make them easier to internationalize. But when you go in to this folder, initially there's going to be a whole bunch of language folders that are totally unnecessary if you don't need them. So, for example, I'm only ever going to be using English because it's the only language I'm really fluent in. Don't delete any of the other files because those are important for you to have. But the folders that are for not the language that you speak, you can get rid of those. So we're in the policies folder, and I'm going to show you a little trick. If we copy the policy definitions up to the policies folder of our sysvol, yeah, and the other reason that you don't want to have all those extra language files is because Windows spends time looking at them and trying to replicate them across your domain controllers, and there's no reason for it to waste any cycles on that. So we're going to close out of group policy, and actually I had to stop the video because I tried to do this once before and it didn't work. And it's because you have to put the policy definitions folder in the policies folder. I was putting them in here, and that is not where you want to put them. So, and I was like, why isn't it working? And I wasted a bunch of time. So, let's open group policy management again. And, oops, I don't care about enforcement. I want to edit. And now, through the magic of television, oops, it's a policy, not a preference. But it's nice too, because it's all, Samba's even offering a 2008 feature, which is group policy preferences. If you've never dug into those, there's some nice stuff in there. So if we expand this out, we see, before we saw administrative templates, policy definitions, retrieve from the local computer. Here we see the retrieve from the central store. So what that means is that when all of your client computers have group policies apply, they get the policies from the central store so that it's common across all computers rather than using their local copies. So that is how that works. We got a whole bunch of stuff in here, actually. And that's just the computer-based policies. There's also user-based policies. So yeah, let's set something. What could we enable that would be a good demo? Just something like we could hide the Internet Explorer icon on the desktop. Well, it's not on the desktop right now. Recycle bin. Okay. So you got to read these policies kind of really carefully. So setting, because sometimes it's like counterintuitive whether you need to enable or disable. Alright, so remove recycle bin from the desktop. Now, it said that I had to log out, log in. Let's try doing a GP update. Now, it's either going to remove that recycle bin, or it's going to tell me I need to log off, or it's going to do nothing. Guess I do have to log off. Let's see. Sign out. And there we see no recycle bin. So that's cool. That's really awesome. Congratulations to me, I guess. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it when it comes to Samba. I think I might do a video on LDAP-S. Let me know in the comments if something that somebody wants to see. So how to do LDAP-S on Samba. Please, give me a comment whether you liked the video or hated it, or subscribe. And check all the details of this thing will be in the description below this video. So have a good day, folks.